Rising from nothing with Machiavellian mastery in a world where power, wealth, and status often dictate respect. How do you command authority when you have nothing? Niccolo Machiavelli, the 16th century political philosopher, offers timeless strategies in The Prince that reveal how to wield influence and earn respect, regardless of your starting point. This guide unveils Machiavelli's power playbook, blending his cunning principles with modern insights to help you navigate social dynamics, leadership, and personal growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a professional, or simply seeking to elevate your presence, these strategies will empower you to command respect and build influence from scratch. Why Machiavelli's philosophy matters. Today, Machiavelli's teachings are often misunderstood as ruthless or manipulative, but at their core, they are about understanding human nature and leveraging it strategically. His principles are not just for princes or politicians, they're for anyone who wants to thrive in competitive environments. By mastering the art of perception, strategic alliances, and calculated actions, you can transform your lack of resources into a springboard for influence. Let's dive into Machiavelli's key strategies and how to apply them in today's world. Master the art of perception. Appear stronger than you are. Machiavellian principle. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. The Prince. What it means. Perception is reality. Even if you lack wealth, status, or resources, you can command respect by controlling how others perceive you. Confidence, poise, and strategic presentation can make you appear powerful, even when you're starting from nothing. How to apply it. Craft your image, dress sharply, maintain strong body language, and speak with conviction. Studies show that 55% of first impressions are based on nonverbal cues. Morabian, 1971. Leverage social proof. Share small wins or endorsements on platforms like LinkedIn to build credibility. For example, a well-crafted post about a minor achievement can amplify your perceived success. Control the narrative. Use storytelling to frame your journey as one of resilience and ambition. Share anecdotes that highlight your determination, even if your resources are limited. Build strategic alliances. Power through connection. Machiavellian principle. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. The Prince. What it means. No one rises alone. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of surrounding yourself with capable allies who can amplify your influence. Even with nothing, you can build a network that elevates your status. How to apply it. Identify key players. Seek out individuals with complementary skills or access to resources. For example, connect with mentors, colleagues, or influencers in your industry. Offer value. First, even if you lack resources, you can provide time, knowledge, or effort. Volunteer for projects, share insights, or solve problems for others to build trust. Use digital platforms. Engage on X by commenting thoughtfully on industry leaders' posts or joining relevant conversations. This positions you as a connected and knowledgeable player. Understanding the Machiavellian principle. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. What it means. Machiavelli's statement is often misinterpreted as advocating for cruelty or tyranny, but its essence is about the power of perception and decisiveness. In The Prince, Machiavelli argues that leaders must prioritize being respected over being adored, especially in challenging or resource-scarce environments. Respect in this context stems from projecting strength, reliability, and authority. Hesitation, indecision, or overly seeking approval can signal weakness, which undermines your ability to command attention and influence others. The core idea here is that decisive action, even when bold or risky, creates an aura of confidence and competence. People are naturally drawn to those who appear certain and purposeful, as it inspires trust and deters challenges to your authority. In modern terms, this principle translates to taking ownership of your choices, acting with conviction, and embracing boldness to stand out, especially when you lack traditional markers of power like wealth, status, or connections. Why it matters in today's fast-paced, competitive world, indecision can be costly. Whether you're navigating a corporate environment, building a personal brand, or leading a team, hesitation can make you appear unprepared or unreliable. Conversely, bold, calculated moves signal that you're a force to be reckoned with, even if you're starting from nothing. Psychological research supports this. Studies on leadership, e.g., Bass and Bass, 2008 show that decisive leaders are perceived as more competent and trustworthy, even when their decisions don't always yield perfect outcomes. Breaking down the application. How to act decisively. Machiavelli's principle is actionable through 3 key strategies: taking calculated risks, owning your decisions, and learning from failure. Below, I'll explain each in detail with examples, practical steps, and insights into how they build respect. Take calculated risks. What it means. Boldness doesn't mean recklessness. It means stepping into opportunities that stretch your capabilities, even when you feel underprepared or lack resources. Calculated risks involve assessing potential rewards against possible downsides and acting despite uncertainty. This projects confidence and sets you apart as someone willing to seize opportunities others shy away from. Why it works. Taking risks signals ambition and courage, qualities that naturally command respect. According to a 2019 study in the Journal of Applied Psychology, individuals who take initiative in uncertain situations are more likely to be seen as leaders, even without formal authority. When you act boldly, you disrupt the status quo and draw attention, which is critical when you're starting with nothing. How to apply it. Identify low-cost opportunities. Look for projects or roles where the downside is minimal, but the visibility is high. For example, if you're in a workplace, volunteer to lead a small initiative, like organizing a team event or presenting a new idea to management. Start small. Scale up. If you're an entrepreneur with no capital, launch a side project using free tools. For instance, create a blog, YouTube channel, or X account to share your expertise, even if it's just a few posts to start. Pitch bold ideas. Don't wait for permission. If you have an idea, present it confidently to decision makers. For example, a junior employee might pitch a cost-saving process improvement to their boss, framing it as a win for the team. Example, consider Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. With just $5,000 and no fashion industry connections, she took the bold risk of pitching her idea to manufacturers and retailers. Her willingness to act despite limited resources earned her respect and built a billion-dollar brand. Practical steps. List 3 opportunities in your current environment: work, school, community, where you can take initiative. Assess the risks. What's the worst-case scenario, and how can you mitigate it? Act within 48 hours to maintain momentum, e.g., send an email, sign up for a role, or share your idea publicly on X, on platforms like X. Share your bold moves, e.g., just pitched my startup idea to a local incubator. Here's what I learned. This not only builds your personal brand, but also reinforces your commitment to action. Own your decisions. What it means. Once you make a choice, commit to it fully, even if the outcome is uncertain. Owning your decisions means standing by them with confidence, communicating them clearly, and taking responsibility for the results. This project's strength and reliability, key components of respect. Why it works. People respect those who exude certainty, even in the face of ambiguity. Psychological research on the halo effect, Nisbet and Wilson, 1977, shows that confident decision-makers are perceived as more competent, even if their decisions aren't always perfect. By owning your choices, you signal that you're in control, which deters others from questioning your authority. How to apply it. Communicate with conviction. When presenting a decision, use clear, assertive language. For example, instead of saying, I think we could try this. Say, I've decided we should implement this strategy because... Avoid over-explaining. Over-justifying your choices can signal insecurity. State your decision, provide a brief rationale, and move forward. Handle pushback gracefully. If others question your decision, acknowledge their concerns, but reaffirm your stance. For example, I appreciate your perspective, but I believe this is the best path based on our goals. Example: imagine you're a freelancer with no portfolio. You decide to offer a discounted service to a small client to gain experience. Own this decision by confidently explaining how your fresh perspective adds value, rather than apologizing for your lack of credentials. Practical steps. Practice making small decisions quickly, e.g., choosing a meeting agenda or a project approach, and sticking to them. Prepare a concise explanation for your choices to build confidence in communicating them. Reflect weekly. Did you waver on any decisions? How can you project more certainty next time? On X, share your decision-making process, e.g., decided to pivot my side hustle to focus on X. Here's why. This transparency builds trust and showcases your decisiveness to a broader audience. Learn from failure. What it means. Bold moves sometimes fail, but how you handle setbacks determines whether you gain or lose respect. Machiavelli understood that failure is inevitable, but framing it as a learning opportunity reinforces your resilience and growth mindset, which others admire. Why it works. Failure, when handled well, humanizes you while showcasing strength. A 2020 study in organizational behavior and human decision processes found that leaders who openly discuss their failures and lessons learned are rated higher in trustworthiness and relatability. By sharing your takeaways, you turn setbacks into stepping stones, reinforcing your authority. How to apply it. Reframe failure publicly. If a project flops, share what you learned rather than hiding it. For example, post on X. My first webinar had low turnout, but I learned how to better target my audience. Here's my next step. Analyze and adapt. After a failure, break down what went wrong and create a plan to improve. For instance, if a pitch is rejected, ask for feedback and refine your approach. Celebrate resilience. Highlight your ability to bounce back. For example, if a side hustle fails, pivot to a new idea and share your journey to inspire others. Example: J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter was published. By openly discussing her struggles and persistence, she earned widespread respect as a resilient and determined figure. Practical steps. After a setback, write down 3 lessons learned and 1 action you'll take next. Share 1 failure and its takeaway on a platform like X to build authenticity, e.g., lessons learned. Seek feedback from a mentor or peer to gain perspective on your failure and improve. Use storytelling to make your failures relatable. For example, post a thread on X about a risk that didn't pay off, focusing on the lessons and your next bold move. This builds engagement and positions you as a resilient leader. Real-world applications. Bringing it all together to illustrate how these strategies work in practice. Let's consider a hypothetical scenario. You're a recent graduate with no job offers, minimal network, and limited resources. Here's how you can apply Machiavelli's principle to command respect. Take a calculated risk. Apply for a competitive internship, even if you feel underqualified. Write a bold cover letter highlighting your willingness to learn and contribute. Alternatively, start a blog or X account to share insights about your industry, positioning yourself as a thought leader. Own your decisions. If you choose to pursue a freelance project, commit to it fully. For example, tell potential clients, I'm confident I can deliver this project on time because I've researched your needs thoroughly. Avoid second-guessing yourself in public. Learn from failure. If your freelance gig doesn't land, analyze why, e.g., weak pitch, wrong audience, and share your insights on X. My first client pitch didn't work. but I learned to focus on their pain points. Next pitch is ready. This shows growth and resilience. Over time, these actions build a reputation for boldness and reliability, earning you respect from peers, employers, or followers. Psychological and social dynamics. Machiavelli's principle taps into several psychological mechanisms. Authority bias. People naturally defer to those who project confidence and decisiveness. Milgram, 1963. Social proof. Sharing your bold actions and lessons on platforms like X creates a feedback loop where others validate your efforts, amplifying your influence. Growth mindset. Embracing failure as learning. Dweck, 2006, makes you relatable and inspiring, fostering respect from others who value resilience. Socially, decisive action positions you as a leader in any group. Even without formal power, your willingness to act boldly signals that you're someone worth following, which is especially critical when you're starting with nothing. Challenges and how to overcome them. Fear of failure. Overcome this by starting with small risks where the stakes are low. For example, pitch a minor idea to a colleague before presenting to a boss. Lack of confidence. Practice decision-making in low-pressure settings, e.g., choosing a restaurant, to build comfort with commitment. External criticism. Anticipate pushback and prepare responses. For instance, if someone doubts your bold move, say, "I've weighed the risks and believe this is the best path forward." Machiavelli's principle of acting decisively is a powerful tool for commanding respect, especially when you have limited resources. By taking calculated risks, owning your decisions with confidence, and learning from failures, you project strength, inspire trust, and build a reputation as a formidable presence. These strategies are not about being ruthless, but about mastering the art of influence through action and resilience. Next steps. Identify one bold action you can take this week, e.g., pitching an idea, starting a project, or sharing a lesson on X. Commit to it publicly to hold yourself accountable, e.g., post on X with your bold moves. Reflect on the outcome, whether success or failure, and share your insights to reinforce your growth. By embracing Machiavelli's playbook, you can turn nothing into a foundation for respect and influence. Start acting decisively today, and watch how the world begins to see you differently. Cultivate fear and admiration. The balance of power. Machiavellian principle. A prince must have no other objective, no other thought, nor take up any profession but that of war. The prince. What it means. While not advocating literal warfare, Machiavelli stresses the importance of being prepared and formidable. To command respect, you must balance being approachable with being untouchable, someone others admire but hesitate to cross. How to apply it. Develop expertise. Become indispensable in a niche area. For example, master a skill like data analysis, public speaking, or content creation to stand out. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly assert your value. For instance, decline low-value opportunities that don't align with your goals. Show strength in adversity. When faced with challenges, respond with composure and strategic thinking. This earns admiration and deters underestimation. Adapt and manipulate circumstances. Turn weakness into strength. Machiavellian principle. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Therefore, one must be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The prince. What it means. Machiavelli advocates for adaptability, being cunning like a fox and bold like a lion. When you have nothing, use your resourcefulness to turn disadvantages into opportunities. How to apply it. Reframe your narrative. If you lack experience, highlight your hunger to learn. If you lack funds, emphasize your creativity and problem solving. Spot opportunities. Look for gaps in your industry or community where you can add value. For example, create a free resource or host a small event to gain visibility. Stay agile. Be ready to pivot when circumstances change. For instance, if a project fails, quickly shift to a new approach rather than dwelling on setbacks. Practical steps to start commanding respect. Today, audit your presence. Review your online profiles. Body language and communication style. Make small tweaks to project confidence and authority. Engage actively on X, post insights, comment on trending topics, and share value-driven content to build your reputation as a thought leader. Learn from role models. Study how successful people in your field present themselves. Emulate their strategies while adding your unique spin. Set short-term goals. Identify one area, e.g., networking, skill building, to focus on each week. Track your progress to stay motivated. Seek feedback. Ask trusted peers for honest input on how you're perceived. Use their insights to refine your approach. Your path to power starts. Now, Machiavelli's playbook isn't about deceit. It's about mastering the game of human dynamics. By shaping perceptions, building alliances, acting decisively, balancing admiration with strength, and adapting to challenges, you can command respect even when starting from nothing. These strategies, rooted in timeless wisdom and optimized for today's digital world, empower you to rise above limitations and claim your place as a respected leader. Ready to take the first step? Share your journey on X, refine your personal brand, and start applying these principles today. The world is watching. Make sure they see a force to be reckoned with. Want more tips on building influence and commanding respect? Follow our blog or join the conversation on X with Machiavelli Power Playbook. Let's unlock your potential together.